I just want to say it's amazing to see all you here today. It means a lot to see all your smiling faces. I know it was raining today. Some of you drove an incredibly long period of time to be here. And it really does mean a lot to see you here, to show up your support, and to hear what we're trying to pitch as our vision to Southwest Virginia, to be able to make this a place where everyone gets a future they all deserve. So just quick accounting. My name's Adam Murphy. I'm a Democratic candidate for Virginia's 9th District. And I'm looking to knock Morgan Griffith right out of the house. I want to start by saying I'm so lucky to be able to share my amazing life with my wife, Carly, who's here today. We came here a couple years ago as we were looking during COVID to look for our forever home, to find our roots, to settle down, and to raise a family. And the beauty of Appalachia and the Blue Ridge Mountains, the kindness of the community, which really, I think that was the deciding factor. There is a community here that I have never experienced anywhere else. And the people here give you the shirt off their back. They step up and help each other because that's what it takes. They all know they're in this together. And it was the reason why we wanted to be here, to put our forever home here, and to live the rest of our lives here and raise a family. So thank you for having us. So who am I? I'm a software developer. I've been in that industry for 9 years. I've done all kinds of crazy things in corporate America with this. I've been in aerospace and plastics manufacturing. I've been in derivatives and investments. And I met my wife actually at insurance at AAA. And funny little story about that. Some of you are going to hear some of these stories again, so you're just going to have to deal with it. When I met my wife at AAA, we were pretty much the only younger people there. I didn't know anything about her. We ended up clicking very well, became a really good friend, but there was no, we were just friends at first. And after a while, that friendship kind of blossomed into feelings, but she had made it incredibly clear from the very get-go she would never, ever date a coworker. So I got a new job. And I asked her out, and the rest is history. But also who I am is someone who's seen what it's like to see unchecked corporate greed cause real harm to real people. In the 2008 housing crisis, we were one of the families who lost our home. It left us financially devastated, and it took over a decade for us to get back on our feet. While these corporations got a bailout, everyday Americans, millions of American families suffered, all before Wall Street's reckless greed. Throughout the years, we've all seen these problems continue to hurt us through crushing medical debt, through skyrocketing housing costs, through stagnant wages. Every day, American workers produce more and more for these massive companies, but the value of the profit they get back is less and less. Why is it? Why is it that these corporations will lay off Americans, thousands of Americans and their livelihoods, and what do they get? Corporate CEO bonuses and stock prices going up? It doesn't make any sense. And then in 2025, in Doge, where we allowed an illegal robber baron to come into our system to strip the federal government, I had had enough. Yeah. I had decided to run because I felt like I was tired of seeing as a helpless bystander these robber barons and billionaires continue to steal our future from us. And so I decided to fight. Let me tell you another story about my family so that way you can kind of understand where I come from a little bit. Now, how many people in this room are Irish or Scots-Irish descent? All right, cool. My family, I'm a fifth-generation Irish immigrant from Ireland. In our family, I'll tell you the story. My great-great-grandfather came here from Ireland. He lived in County Kilkenny with his identical twin brother. And in the potato famine, they were destitute. They had lost a lot of money. They didn't have any possessions. And so they had made the decision to come to America. Well, they didn't have a lot of money, but they scrounged up money working in the city. And eventually they were able to buy one single ticket to America. Well, as identical twin brothers, as they were boarding, you can remember the photos of the Titanic and things, right? Of huddled up masses trying to board. The first brother would go up and get his ticket punched and kind of pass it back behind him. And then the other brother would be like, oh, you've already stamped my ticket. And so playing that game, they were able to make it all the way to America. Now, of course, they were farmers, so they didn't want to live in New York. So they started going west. They went through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and eventually got to Chicago, making and saving money along the way. They didn't want to live in Chicago either. Again, they're farmers. So they went a little bit south of that to a town called Peoria, where they set up the Centennial Farm, a farm that had been would be in my family for over 100 years, where they raised Shetland cattle and Shetland sheep. In the modern era, with my grandfather living on that farm, who's raising to work for his family, had 4 kids, had a wife. As farmers often do, they have to take out loans to be able to pay to get through the season, whether it's equipment, seed, livestock, whatever. Well, insurance in those times didn't have any minimums. So his insurance was really straightforward. He would get paid $60 a day for every day he was in the hospital. That's all his insurance did. Well, he was stressed out working, and he eventually had to get a gastric bypass. He was in the hospital for 1 week, 7 days. His insurance wrote him a check for $420, and then the bill from the hospital was $500,000. This broke my grandfather. He was already working part-time as a school bus driver and taking the night shift in a factory to be able to make ends meet. And he didn't know what to do. So what he decided to do was sell the farm. Now think about this. This is the farm that his grandfather had established, that his dad grew up on, that he grew up on, that some of his kids had grown up on. Imagine the devastation, the feeling of shame and failure you might feel not being able to have been able to make that work. It broke him. And it took a long time for the family to truly recover from it. That's how I knew when I learned that piece of family history that the American dream had been broken. And it wasn't broken in my generation. It's been broken for decades. That American dream, that promise, that deal, we've been told our whole life that if you work hard, if you play by the rules, that they will pay you well enough to raise a family, to have a home, to live a good life. Well, I'll tell you what. The people at the top, they haven't been upholding their end of that deal, not for an incredibly long period of time. And in the richest country in the history of the world, you should not have to sell property or your family farm to pay off a hospital stay. These people have stolen our future from us, and we deserve it back. I've traveled all across this district, a district that is the size of New Jersey. And I have listened to people in their homes, at protests, at town halls, and you hear this constant refrain that they feel left behind by a system that does not represent them. That I need you to understand that this fight, it's not about left versus right. It's not about your neighbor against neighbor. It's an American system that has been rigged against them. Top versus bottom. That is what the fight has always been, and we need to focus up on it. That's why I'm running for Congress. To hold the rich and powerful accountable and to restore that promise of the American dream. Right now, this system is stuck in a cycle of partisanship and special interest politics. That's why I'm incredibly proud to announce and promise that I will never take a dime of billionaire money, of corporate PAC money, of foreign interest money like AIPAC, not a dime. I reject them all. There will be no strings on me because I am running to represent Southwest Virginia. All of us, regardless of party, to put the interest of our people first above all other things. We must reject the propaganda that pits us against one another. We need to be able to think with our own minds and see with our own eyes. We need to demand with one loud voice a government of the people, by the people, for the people. I know these are scary times. ICE just murdered a woman in Minneapolis in the street. A U.S. citizen, Renee Good, a mother, a wife, an American, who had the courage to stand up against those in power in support of others. They want you to be afraid. They want you to keep your head down. They want you to turn away from their abuses. But you're not going to do that, are you? No! You're here today because you know we have the power to change our destiny. We did it 250 years ago, and we can do it here again now. Yeah. The fight for that future starts right now in Southwest Virginia. It begins now. Now, this is a little piece of history. On this very day, January 10th, 1776, 250 years ago, Thomas Paine published a pamphlet called Common Sense. It was a radical idea then, seemingly a radical idea now. Paine wrote, "Common sense will tell us that the power which hath endeavored to subdue us is of all others the most improper to defend us." Yes. He also said, "The cause of America is in great measure the cause of all mankind." Now, common sense is very simple. It's seeing things as they are and doing things as they ought to be. So let us return to common sense. It is time for bold, clear leadership for the common man, one that puts the American prosperity first above everything else. Not corporations, not foreign interests, but American people first. We need to build change that does not reject, we need change, Change like Medicare for all, because in the richest country in the history of the world, health care is a right, not a privilege. No one should have to choose between their home or their health, between life-saving medication or their heating bill. We need change like a living wage, so that way a full-time job can support a family. And we will produce that living wage by making sure that our small businesses, the true economic engines of our communities, are supported by making mega corporations pay their fair share, so that way everyone gets a living wage. We need change, like rebuilding Southwest Virginia, bringing back manufacturing, supporting our small businesses and our farms. We need change, everybody. We need it now. And it can't wait any longer. And if we do not fight for it now, we are never going to get the future we all deserve. We don't need AI data centers coming in and promising 5 jobs while automating thousands. We need to get back to common sense. And all these changes, really, all of them across the board, all of them really are just common sense. Because it's about putting people first. Not about putting money first, but about putting people first. So let us return to that common sense, where we endeavor to support all Americans in their future, not just the few at the top. Now, I want to say it to everybody, this is not a fight I can win alone. And this event today, I have been so supported by so many kind people who have given me their time, their effort, their support. I would be nothing without them. That is because they choose to fight with me, and I am so grateful that they do. I now need each and every one of you here in this room to fight with me as well. Together we can show these billionaires, these establishment politicians, these warmongers, this regime of cruelty that we are the ones with power, and power does not come from them. It is inherent in the people, like you and me. I need you to stand up for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your community, and for all of our collective futures, I need you to fight. It's time for Americans to start dreaming big, to start believing that they have the power, to understand and reconnect with our 250-year-old founding spirit, and with one loud voice, demand a future we all deserve. My name is Adam Murphy. I'm here to earn your vote and your support. I would not be here without the people who were able to help put this event together. Can we give a quick round of applause to all of our other speakers? They did such a great job. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and we'll be around to keep asking questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't leave just yet.